What's up guys, Manny from Motomillion. It's time to give this Ducati a face. If you guys watched the last episode, we changed our headlight fairing stay to this beautiful full 6 monocoque front headlight fairing stay, or as I like to call it, just the front subframe of the bike. And also we changed our instrument cluster covers to these beautiful carbon fiber pieces. Now it's time to give it a face. We're going to put the front headlight fairing on and we're going to put our new windscreen on. But before we do that, if you guys saw, there used to be a Ducati Corsa logo here. I'm going to attempt to pry it off the plastic piece and put it on here. If you can do that, that's going to be really nice. But if not, it is what it is. Carbon also looks nice. So let's give this a try. The trick is that you don't want to bend this piece because it's metal. There we go guys, I'm going to let it cool down, grab myself some 3M automotive tape and transfer it right over. Have to eyeball this in the middle and upright. I think that looks kind of in the center. There we go guys, that's where it's gonna sit. Now we gotta grab our stock front fairing, get the windscreen bolts off. We're gonna use Pro Tie stuff, but we didn't receive it in time, so we're just gonna use the stock ones for now. Transfer over to the carbon. I'm gonna weigh it too, so that we see the weight difference, because I think it's gonna be quite a difference in weight. So the stock fairing piece with the windscreen and the bolts and the grommets is weighing in at 1 pound and 15.5 ounces, almost 2 pounds. We'll transfer our clips over to our carbon fairing, put our new windscreen, and we'll weigh that one right after. These stock windshield fairing bolts are T7s, they're Torx. I think I saw a comment on the last video asking if we're going to keep the red and matte black or the black theme. Yes, we are. It's the winter test livery and we really want to keep it. We did order all of the decals for the bike. Some of the decals are not orderable, so we're going to have to either get a sign shop or a wrap shop to get it done for us, or we might go the extra mile and paint it. But I think if we ever get to the stage of painting the bike, we might do some kind of a special livery on it at that point. But for now, we haven't decided yet, but we're going to do something on it. It's either going to look like an SP2 that's converted to carbon, or we're going to do some sort of a special livery on it. So guys, this is the WRS windscreen, and not all windscreens are created equally, because some of these teams go into great lengths on getting the competitive advantage. And I think WRS has been a part of this for the past few years. And if you guys follow MotoGP, World Superbike, and other high-end race series, their names have been popping up everywhere in terms of the windscreens, because I was speaking to Michele from WRS, and he mentioned to us that the teams go into such lengths for aero, and now aero is a big thing in MotoGP, that they even started testing the plastics that was being used to come up with a plastic that's even slippier than a regular plastic. And all of these WRS windscreens are developed that way now. And it's not just the shape, but it's also the air hitting it. There's obviously friction on it. And it's kind of crazy and mind-boggling, because as I said, if you watch MotoGP now, a lot of the bikes have, almost all the field has WRS windscreens on it, even if they don't show the WRS logo, but the logos are everywhere too. But now we're seeing wings on the back of the bikes, not even just in the front. But I think that's a cool little fact. And here's our windscreen right here. I'm going to try not to put my fingers on the inside part where it's going to be kind of hard to clean. And we're going to try to see if we can fit it right on here. And obviously if you put it like this, the bolt holes might not line up, and don't forget, you got to stretch the windscreen to its shape. So guys, I haven't tightened anything yet. This is what it looks like. I just want to weigh this. I don't know, it's pretty close actually now that I have the windscreen. And I think the windscreen is the heavier part of these pieces. So this piece is sitting at 1 pound, 5.2 ounces. So just around 10.3 ounces lighter. And also, Full 6 has just made some carbon windscreens. I know the BMW guys love it. They actually made them for some of the race teams. I think some BSB teams had requested it. And that's something to look forward to. There's going to be very soon, depending on when you're watching this video, but it might already be out and available at that point. But as we're shooting this video, they're on their way to us, and I think they're going to be really cool. I don't think we'll change this one, but if you guys follow Jerry Campese, he's doing a very cool Panigale V4 build, and we're definitely going to be using those windscreens on his bike. Well, he's definitely going to ask for it because we all know Jared is known for his all carbon bikes. And let's get this face on the bike. There we go. I think it looks really good. I told you guys on the last video, once we put the windscreen on with the gloss and the satin, it's going to look really good. Putting the beautiful Rizoma stealth mirrors on. And in a second, when I'm done, you could come around and take a look because there's carbon caps underneath too to finish off the bottom piece. They used to be plastic, now they're carbon. And I'm just making sure, and you also do this on plastic pieces, when you're fitting stuff, you could move the plastic around while you're tightening things to make sure everything is lining up nicely. And this is what I mean. When you take your mirrors off, this plastic trim piece is underneath your headlight fairing. And when you buy these instrument cluster covers, they come in beautiful carbon pieces like this. And I'm just replacing these while I put the mirrors back on the bike. So the front fairing is on with the windshield, guys. I think it looks beautiful. As I mentioned, I love the contrast, and our Corsa logo is on there. Now our Rizoma mirrors are on, and inside it is all finished. So when you come take a look around, it's all gloss carbon fiber, and I think when you're riding this bike, and don't forget, we're indoors right now, outdoor in the sun, everything's gonna pop. I really like it. One touch that we're gonna do is to put the Ducati stickers and logos everywhere that it was. We ordered everything through the Ducati parts catalog, and as you see, the stock front fairing has this Ducati logo. For whatever reason, when you order it through the Ducati catalog and everything is ordered for the SP2, it still comes as the black logo because I believe the red bikes have the black logo on it, and we know it's the correct one because if you take a look, the paper is actually cut in the shape of where it goes so that you have a template on how to put it on the bike. I don't know if I want to waste the sticker right now and put a black one on top of the carbon fiber. You guys decide if you guys want us to try to resource a white one or get someone to make it in white for us, or should we run the black one on the bike? For now, we're not in a rush to apply it on the bike. We'll leave it as it is. But I did check the other stickers after this ordeal, and I think all of our stickers are correct. And kind of a bummer. I wanted to get it on there just to kind of be done with that part. But I think there's a few touches that I want to do right now. I want to put our grips back on it. And I'm going to be putting the TWM lever blades on here with the speed hole or the opening. And I'll tell you all about that in a second. Let me get these grips back on, and then we'll get onto these levers. That's on this side. These are the Pro Grip 717 grips. They now are coming on the V4S and the V4 SP2 models, I think, because when Jerry Campisi's V4S, he was here, the 23 V4S, it had these grips on it, which was surprising to me. Usually just the R or the SP models come with these grips, but if you guys want to get replacements or get a set of these, we also have these in various colors just to suit your taste. And it's all about the detail, guys. These are the TWM lever blades, and they make them for the RCS and the RCS Corsa Corta models. And if you come take a look, it has this piece here, the speed hole as we call it. If you guys watch MotoGP, take a look. The levers are exactly like this, and it's for a reason. And TWM makes these lever blades or lever blades, whatever you like to call it. There's a whole story behind this speed hole. We call it the $1 million hole. This was a while back. I think it was Capirossi that was getting brake fade at the end of the Misano straight. And getting brake fade at the end of a straight is not something that's common because your brakes are being cooled, and in Misano straight it's a long straight. And as I mentioned, the world speed record for MotoGP was broken on the Misano straight. It turns out that without this speed hole, the brake lever was being depressed ever so slightly. That was making the pads make contact with the rotors. That was heating things up. And by the time they actually figured it out, and this was a while ago, as I mentioned, because it was Louis Capirossi that was racing at the time. And I don't think they had all the computerized equipment to be able to see exactly what's going on, because right now I think they could also double check the brake pressure and everything like that. That's in the lines. But in a short story, that's how this came about. It's a cool piece. Again, I'm a big MotoGP fan. I've been watching it for a long time. And if you guys are going to be in Austin this year for MotoGP of the Americas, if you guys see me, come say hi. I'm definitely going to be there. I had a lot of fun last year, and I met some of you guys. It was great. But let's get this on. Let's give that a little bit of the GP look. And the other part that I really like is that these levers are a little more ergonomic than the Corsa Corta's factory lever. This gets really skinny here. I kind of don't like it. These fit perfectly on your fingers, and they work great. They're available in short and standard length. The whole story is sit on your bike and see how you ride. If you ride with 2 fingers, you could get away with a short lever, but if you brake with 3 or 4 of your fingers, the standard lever blade is the correct length that you should be getting, and that's what it is. The short one is not meant to be stubby like some of the levers that are out there. TWM is only in the business to make some of these functional products. It's a quick change. We're just going to loosen this bolt here. They supply us a new bolt. We're going to swap both sides. And I think it's going to be done at this point for this episode, but let's get this done first. And if you come take a look, the TWM one has also the provision for this piece that's here. This just makes sure that it only folds one way. The stock one has the same exact groove on there. Now it's as simple as just putting this on the bike and using the supplied bolt by TWM, which is a 5 mil now. And it fits there beautifully, guys, and you want to make sure that this is not too loose, because you don't want this to fold while you're riding. The only purpose of the folding levers are so that if you ever have an impact, for it to fold up so that you don't break your lever. So if you're on track, so you could keep going on with your track day, if there's not too much damage, or if you're on the street, you could try to get the bike home if there's not a lot of damage on the bike. Now it's a little bit of the same on the clutch side, and I'll quickly swap this over. I want to remove one of these TWM logos off of the clutch side, because they are generally made for the brake side and the logo ends up being upside down. And if you have a little bit of residue, you could always apply a little bit of WD-40. It gets rid of the residue pretty quickly. Or Goo Gone if you have it. All the glue is gone. It's nice and clean. Now we're going to get our bolt, jump on the other side, and get the clutch lever finished up. And don't forget, you can mix and match. So for the clutch lever, if you have a heavy clutch like these dry clutches on these bikes, you could opt for a longer lever so that you have more leverage on your clutch lever. And on the brake side, just depending on the ergonomics, so like I said, if you're using 2 fingers, 1 finger, 3 or 4, whatever the riding style you have, you could adjust it on that end. This looks pretty good. So guys, now this is a much more familiar feeling with these lever blades on the bike. And for you eagle-eyed viewers, because I know people are going to pick up on this, we actually just moved over the handlebar controls, so the throttle is more outwards and the grip is more outwards to the left as well. That way we're making the most of these wide bars that we used. And if you were following along, we changed pretty much the whole front end of this bike, other than the triple tree. All the handlebar setups are changed, our reservoirs changed, so everything in here is brand new, including our front subframe or headlight fairing stay, our instrument cluster cover. Now our front end is carbon. The front end is, I think it's safe to say, is done now. We're going to get on to the subframe and the other parts of the bike. I don't know in which sequence we're going to do it, because the subframe is going to get a little tricky with this exhaust system, because the carbon fiber subframe does not have a provision for rear passenger foot pegs where this exhaust mounts. But you could be sure that we're going to be installing a lot more special parts on this bike. And I think that's it for this episode. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Until next time, guys, have a great one.